the topic is ratio, proportion, and rate, right? So we want to understand some of these things using these pure exams questions. And the way of solving this thing is to read the question step by step, right? It's very, very important. So step by step, if you read one line, what it means, then you write it down until you arrive at what? The final sentence, right? So the first part is 35, right? So 35 colored balls, right? So you are going to do with 35 colored balls, meaning that the total balls that we are dealing with, so the total ball, right? So these are the total balls here. So the total balls that is equal to 35. That is what we are giving. Is that okay? So we're shared among what? Four people, right? So let's say four teams. So let's say this is the first team. If you're a football fan, this can be a Barcelona, Chelsea, Man City, or Liverpool, right? It can be anything, right? So let's say this is the captain for the first team, and then this is the captain for the second team, and then this is the captain for the third team, and then here's the captain for the last one, right? So these are the captains for the four different teams that are going to share the 35 balls, right? So among these four teams, we have one team takes all the red. Is that okay? So maybe let's say we have red among all the balls that we are dealing with. So among all these teams, one person, so this guy, let's say this guy here, right? This team here takes all the red, which we don't know exactly the number that they are taking. Is that okay? So in mathematics, if you don't know something, we represent that by what? A variable. So we can say that let's or maybe replace, right? Or maybe let's say let's any letter. It can be A, right? So it's any letter. Let A be the number of what? Red balls, or the total red balls. So let A be what? The number of what? Red what? Red what? Red balls, right? So red balls over here, right? So that is all. So we are using this letter to represent the total number of what? Red ball, just one by one, step by step. You get there, right? Okay. Now the next one says if the remaining is very, very important. Now, this is the total number that we are sharing. So this is the total balls that we are sharing. We are sharing 35 balls in all. And then these people are taking all the red colored balls out of the 35. So the remaining, that's the very, very important. So if assuming these people have only 5 red balls among all the 35, what will be the remaining? The remaining will be 30, right? So this 30 comes from what? 35, which is the total here, and then minus what? The 5, assuming, right? Assuming. So in that case, we don't know the number of red balls that these people are taking. So you represent that by A. So what do you think would be the remainder? So the remainder here will be what? 35 minus 35. So here you can have the remainder here. So this remainder here will be what? So let's say you have the remaining, right? So the remaining balls, right? So the remaining balls here is equal to the 35 here, right? So the total number here is 35. So 35 here, 35 35 minus what? Minus A, right? So this is what these people take. They are taking all the red balls. So minus what? A, right? So minus A. So this will be the remaining. Is that okay? So what was the ratio? So the ratio shared. So the remaining was shared, right? So the remaining was shared among what? These people. So this thing here, this everything here was shared among the ratio of what? The ratio, very, very important. The ratio of what? 4 is to what? Is to 3, and then is to 2. Right? So this is the scenario. Very, very simple. So if these teams are taking A balls out of for the 35, right, you can choose to replace this A by a number. So as I said earlier on, here can be what? 5. Right? So if these people are taking this A out of all these things, we are going to left with this person and these people. So the remaining, anything that remains here, so you are going to left with 35 minus A. So whatever the number may be, this number here was shared among the ratio of what? 4 is to 3, and then is to 2. Okay, very, very simple. Now what are they asking you to find? They say, and the smallest what? Shared was what, 6 balls, right? The smallest shares was 6 balls. So maybe if the smallest was 6 ball, what do you think will be what the values of the number the number that these people takes out of the total 35, right? So that's very very simple. This is the scenario. Now let's write out the way of solving this thing mathematically. So one by one. So here's a simple solutions to you have to write. So first of all, you have to start with the total number of balls that they are sharing, right? So the total number of balls, which is equal to 35, and then we can let what a, right? So we can let a letter, right? Any letter, of course, any letter. So here we are going to choose a. So let a be the number of what let a be the number of red balls, right? Let a be the number of what red balls, right? So red you have red balls. Okay, because we don't know the total number of the red balls that they are taking. Okay, the next one, so the remaining, what is left? Is that okay? So the remaining number, so the remaining what remaining balls is the idea of solving this is to just read it one by one, right, step by step, and then the remaining balls, that is equal to 35, right? So this 35 here, and then minus what, minus simple a, right? So minus simple a, it makes sense. That's it, because these people are taking a out of all the 35. So if they are taking 10, then you are going to reflect 35 or minus 10, right? So that's exactly what I'm having here. So 35 or minus a. Now this is the ratio, right? So giving ratio. So the ratio here, the ratio that we are giving was 4:3, and then is 2. The remaining people, the remaining, right? So the remaining, how many things are left? So you are left with 3 things after these people has taken what a out of the 35. So these people are sharing, the remaining 3 teams are sharing of 4 is what, meaning that these people are taking 4 out of the total ratio, and then these people are taking 3, and then as well as 2. So here you need to calculate the total ratio, right? So the total ratio is equal to 4 plus or plus 3 and then plus 2, right? You have to add everything that they are sharing. So here they are sharing, well, that is all 7 and then plus or equal to 9. So this is the ratio that they are sharing. They are sharing the remaining balls that are left. Is that okay? So now if the total is 9, they say the smallest, right? So they say what if what, and the smallest share was what, 6 balls. It's okay, it's very very simple. So which one is the smallest among the ratio here? So this is 2. 2 is the smallest one, and then the largest one is what, the 4. So this the smallest shares was what, 6 balls. Is that okay? Very very simple. If the smallest was 6 balls, so what it means here is that we have what, this is what they are sharing. So the smallest is what, is the 2, right? So 2 over the total ratio, which is what, 9. Is that okay? Multiply by what are they sharing? They are sharing, remember, they are not sharing 35, right? So they are not sharing 35, but they are sharing what, 35 minus a, because these people clearly they've taken their portion out. What remains is what they are sharing. So what remains here is what, that is what, our 35, and then minus what, minus a, right? So 35 minus a. This is very very simple. And then this is what, this is the smallest one, right? So this is the smallest one, which was 6 from the question. So everything is equal to 6, right? This is just like, let's say you have a 10 cedi, share it 10 cedi, and then take 2 out of the 10, right? So 2 out of the 10 multiplied by whatever that you are sharing. Is that okay? So the smallest was 6, so you can easily solve this. Very very simple way of solving this thing. Does it make sense? So if you solve this and multiply, then we are going to have the values of the a. But remember, the question that they are asking us today is, so how many red balls were shared? So straightforward, this is what we use to represent the red balls, right? So you just need to multiply this and span the bracket, and then solve for a. Let's see how to. So you may pause the video and come back and check the solution to this. Okay, welcome back. So here we have what, 2 over what, over 9 multiplied by what, 35 minus what, minus a. Okay, so maybe let's still use the a symbol here to be, let's use the red pen, right? So red pen. So minus a, and then equal to 6. Right? So with the way we are having fractions, so the way of solving this is to multiply everywhere by what? By 9. So we are going to multiply through by 9. Right? So if you multiply here by 9, you are going to have 9 multiplied by 2 over 9, and then times whatever we are having, which is 35, and then minus a. Everything is equal to 6, right? So equal to 6, so 35 minus a equal to 6, and then the right hand side of the equation, it must be multiplied by 9. So here also, so this guy will cancel that. Okay, so you are going to let 2 multiplied by what? That is what, 35, and then minus a, and then everything is equal to this one multiplied by that. That should be equal to 70, right? So, oh, sorry, 54. Is that okay? So that should be 54. Right, so you have our a. Now for you to take off this bracket, what are you going to do? You are going to use the 2 to multiply everything out. So if you use the guy to multiply that one, that should give you 70, and then minus a minus 2a, right? So this guy multiplied by this, and this one also multiplied by that. So everything is equal to 54. So here we have what 2a, right? So because the 2 multiply anything that is inside the bracket, so here you have 2a. So from here, I think you can continue from here. What you have to do here is to group the items, and then move on. So here is what you subtract. You may choose to subtract 70 from both sides. Okay, so if you subtract 70 from here, this guy will cancel out. So you are going to have negative 2a, which is equal to 54 minus 70. So 2a, right? So here is 2. Okay, very simple. So if you subtract out here, we are going to have the negative 2a, which is equal to this guy minus that should be equal to negative 16. Okay, so negative 16, right? So you divide both sides by what? Negative 4, negative 4, negative 2. So you are going to have your a to be equal to a, right? So the number, this a here is the number of all the red balls. So you have to make sure that you answer the question at the end. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more details. So you have to answer this question. You have to write that the number of red balls, right? So this is how you should write your solution. Number the number of what? Of red balls. Red balls is equal to 8. Is that okay? Very, very simple. So thank you for watching.